So Mr. Girl is a content creator who is very questionable. He's been banned, I think, off of Twitch, and I think also off of Twitter. I know he's been banned, I'm pretty sure, off of Twitch. I don't know if he's been banned off of Twitter yet or anything. But yeah, we're gonna look at this video that he made they made 2 years ago. I was in a Discord server a couple days ago, and somebody recommended that I watch this video from him. Mr. Girl is this cryptid sort of guy that is apparently supposed to be this mirror that's supposed to help you be your better self or something. I'll be the judge of that with this 2-year-old video. You mock incels because you hate yourself. Let's go. Nope. Nope what? What do you mean, Lilith? Nope what?
Hi, horses. There's so many videos dissecting the psychology of incels.
What the fuck? It's a test, Sammy.
I want to dissect the psychology of people who dissect the psychology of incels.
Not about this, Kate.
But why? Like, why? Incels are, like, pretty straightforward. Like, what? This isn't... I watched part of this video, and from what I've gathered, like, I've already pre-watched a little bit of this video. From what I've gathered, from what I've seen in this video, it's a incel apologia sort of video, apologizing for the incels, basically, and defending the incels when they don't need to be defended, but okay.
About yourself.
So you hate incels, and you feel good about it. But after all your mental gym...
Yes, because I'm not involuntarily... I'm not so entitled as to call myself involuntarily celibate. So for those of you who don't know, the term incel stands for involuntarily celibate. These people basically think that celibacy, the act of not having sex, has been forced upon them by society, which is one of, in my opinion, the most entitled positions you could ever take about something in society, okay? Like, that's entitlement right there. Acting as though society is forcing you to not get laid. I'm sorry, but if you're not getting laid and you don't have some really, like, bizarre sort of deformity or what have you, if you're not getting laid, it is your fault. That if you are an able-bodied person or what have you, which I know the majority of incels are, because the majority of incels are just white men, just stereotypical, well, not stereotypical, but your typical white guy, except for they were maybe bullied a little bit in school or got 1 or 2 rejections and never recovered from it. You have no one else typically to blame but yourself for the fact that you cannot get laid, okay? You haven't heard of him, that's why? Okay.
Gymnastics and political bullshit, you're really no better than a high school bully calling nerdy kids virgins. You know when you...
Okay, but the thing is, incels aren't just virgins, nor are they just nerds. I'm gonna just let him keep going.
Start using a group's name as a slur, empathy and civility have pretty much gone...
Again, I don't need to have empathy or civility for somebody that is so entitled that they think that it's society's fault that they can't get frickin' laid. That's not my problem. That is not my problem.
Out the window. I get it though. The existence of someone who's involuntarily celibate is threatening.
As if.
You hate incels because you're afraid...
It's not threatening. These people are threatening, but not because they're involuntarily celibate. These people are threatening because it doesn't stop with being involuntarily celibate. Being an incel oftentimes is a straight just doorway to the alt-right and to shit like Nazism oftentimes. Like, these people are literally, in many cases, are Nazis or are very close to becoming Nazis in many cases. Or aces who don't want sex. Are there aces? Are there asexual people who are incels? Because in that case, they're not involuntarily celibate. They would be voluntarily celibate, which would be a volcel, voluntarily celibate, like, which is like apparently like an actual thing. I don't know. Stop me if I say something wrong.
And maybe on some level, you already are one.
Ironic.
I mean, come on. If I'm gonna say we're all pedophiles, y'all best believe I'm gonna say we're all.
He still has a Twitter. I don't care. I tried to message him to try to have him try like talk to him and have him come on, and he has not responded to my message. He also is like incredibly hard to like get in touch with or get a hold of, but which also just makes him look kind of even weirder. But whatever.
All incels. We're also all black, but we'll talk about that another time.
Her friends, they pitched in $100 all together and bet her that she wouldn't go study with me for a month.
Remember when incels used to just be sad and quiet? They'd be like your fat, supportive best friend, sidekick.
But actually, no, I don't remember when incels were just sad and quiet. They've always been sad, loud, obnoxious, annoying, and just blame all of their problems on women. I don't remember when incels were just sad and quiet.
And they'd just be happy they got assigned to a group project with a pretty girl, and they'd like do the whole thing for her and keep their nasty ass sexualities to themselves. And now that losers have found a voice and created a language of their own with Chads and Stacys and Beckys and Chad Lights and
Okay, but like, does he not see this clip that he's using where this guy is literally forcing himself onto her and she clearly did not consent to his to his advances? Does he not see a problem with his actions?
looks matching and looks maxing and gym maxing, and they've created a whole lens and belief system of mating behavior of
Also, I've never seen this movie, so maybe I'm wrong.
humans. Well, let's quarantine their forum on Reddit and mock them because they're angry and say violent stuff.
But, like, he also forced himself on that girl, though, in the video.
Oh, if Emmett...
And also, we don't quarantine them. In many cases, they quarantine themselves. They go into their own little echo chambers and their message boards on Reddit and what have you, and bitch and moan and seethe about how they can't get a girlfriend because, you know, women don't know their place and shit. Or maybe I just interacted with a different kind of incel than what he's interacted with. Maybe. But also, in the name, involuntarily celibate. For you to be so entitled that you think that you not getting laid is something that is, like, society's problem. And, like, it's a condition that's forced upon you. Maybe you should look internally. Also, pause for a hot second. Incels also tend to be Jordan Peterson fans. This video right here reminded me, at least. They tend to be Jordan Peterson fans. They tend to be people that believe that men are superior to women in many aspects, if not every aspect. They tend to be the kind of people who think that women should be demure and should be, you know, docile and what's the word? Childlike and innocent and what have you. That's typically how incels act. They look down on women and they're mad that women aren't taking their shit anymore. Like,
Eminem talks about raping women, it's fine because he's a popular incel.
all I want to do was rape the bitch and snatch her purse. Now I want to kill her, but yo, I gotta catch her first. Okay, so like,
Or Philip Roth can write about jerking off on a girl's arm while
let him come all over that sleeping.
she sleeps, and Martin Scorsese can film himself talking about shooting a woman in her vagina.
That you should see what a 44 Magnum's going to do a woman's pussy. You should see.
Okay, I'm pretty sure A, that one right there was a joke. B, the thing about that is that yes, that stuff that is said is problematic. The stuff that he quoted, the stuff that's said is problematic. But at the same time, like, I guess they're taking their anger out in an art form, which again doesn't make it really that much better. But like, I would prefer if incels did that shit. If they like made art and poems about that shit and, you know, were constructive instead of just seething and being angry about the fact that they can't get laid. Like, they want friends and they get upset when all girls want is friendship. They feel like because they're nice, they're owed something. Yeah, literally, yeah. That's what I was gonna get to that eventually, of course, in this video. But yeah, they act as though the biggest problem with incels is that they act as though not that they're entitled to sex, because acting as though you're entitled to sex is not necessarily a bad thing, because we do need sex. Like, sex is an important thing. But the problem is when you act as though you are entitled to a woman's body. That is the problem. Or to just another person's body, not even a woman's body. It's also problematic when a woman acts as though she's entitled to a man's body, when a woman touches a man without his consent. Like, that's problematic too. All of that stuff is problematic. Like, don't get me wrong.
You losers. Why don't you all just become artistic geniuses, and then you can express these feelings? No. Forget it.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to be an artistic genius, like, to do art or to express those feelings. You can just do art. The incels aren't doing art. They're just sitting around in their message boards and forums and commenting on videos or watching videos on YouTube and TikTok that reaffirm their or that affirm their bias and hatred against women. That's all they fucking do. Like, they sit there in their little corners and seethe and say that the problem with women is that we gave them rights. Like, that's the reason why they can't get laid, because we gave women rights. And like, if we would only go back to traditional societal gender roles and norms, that everything would be better and that they could get laid. Even though if we were to go back then, they would probably get much worse treatment than they do now. They would probably get the living shit beaten out of them every day. They'd probably be hunted down after school every day just to get beaten up by the Chad bully that they respect so much and fear so much.
About becoming geniuses, they just need to get haircuts, and then they'll look fine, and everything will be okay, right? That's brilliant. You should be a therapist. And when you get
No, they should just stop acting as they should just stop. They should actually be genuinely good people. The thing about incels is that a lot of these people are just really shitty fucking people. A lot of these people are shitty fucking people that need therapy. That's the thing. A lot of these people are really shitty, horrible people that just need fucking therapy, and like only do nice things for people, mainly the woman that they have a crush on or whatever, because they think it'll endear them to a woman, and then when that woman doesn't, return their affections, they get all pissed and get all angry, and then say all women want is a bad, mean guy. Meanwhile, that's not the case. Like, they're not going out, like, women aren't dating people like me because I'm this bad, evil dude that treats them like shit. They date people like me because I'm genuine with the way in which I treat not only them, but those around me. I'm just a genuinely nice person to people that aren't dicks that act as though that they deserve shit from women or potential sexual partners. People that they want to have sex with.
clients coming in feeling alone and depressed and suicidal, you can say, well, hey, I'm not just a therapist, I'm also a barber. And then you can cut.
Wait, but the thing is, oftentimes, these people aren't just coming in feeling, they're feeling sad oftentimes about shit that they can't control. Shit like, again, the fact that we're giving women rights. Another big one is the fact that women are a bit more promiscuous now. That really pisses off a lot. That pisses off incels a lot. Like OnlyFans, oh my god, OnlyFans pisses off incels a lot. Okay.
Cut their fucking hair.
You want to grab them by their Black Ops t-shirts, shake them a bit, and tell them there are millions of men with small wrists and weak chins getting laid every day, that they're their own worst.
Or you can dismiss the whole incel premise that they're just not physically desirable to women.
I don't want to talk.
But see, the thing is, in many cases, incels aren't that bad looking, actually. A lot of the time, these people just don't have confidence. They, not only do they not have confidence, but they also just fucking hate women. It's the thing. In many cases, they might have some repressed, like, what is it, homosexuality in many cases. Like, they might, or a repressed identity where they're trying to fit into, like, hyper-masculine, like, or, a male-oriented, like, the words I'm looking for right now are just escaping me. They're trying to fit into, like, traditional male spaces and circles that require men to be hyper-masculine and not really care about their feelings and not really open up. But in many cases, these people, these incels, They want to open up about their feelings. Some of them. They want to open up about their feelings. They want to be honest about how they feel and about, the fact that they might feel like they need to cry, that they need a shoulder to cry on. But instead, they're around these people that are like, no, you don't cry. You're a man. Men don't show emotion. So the amount of times that I've been called emotional by incels, my God, okay? Because there are also incels, and there's a broad group of people that can fit, a broad number of people, broad different types of people that can fit under the incel umbrella, fit within the incel bracket, okay? Like, the amount of time, I mean, to the women watching this right now, how many times has an incel gone out of their way to insult you just for having breasts? Like, and the fact that they can see your boobs or some shit, or see a little side boob or some shit. How many times has an incel gone out of their way to comment something like you're portraying fatherless behavior or some shit like that? Like,
Just say it's just their personalities. Oh,
I wanna pump her.
it's easy to change your personality.
Pump.
It's a group.
it's not even. Yeah, it's not easy to change your personality, but that's what they need to do. You can change who you are as a person in a way. If you're a shitty person, you can change and not be a shitty person. A very good way would be to stop acting as though you're superior to women, because that's another thing. Incels act like they know what's best for women. They act like they're intellectually and physically superior to women.
Of people who are in pain, and they decided to form a support group so they can talk about it. That actually seems like...
But again, they're forming a support group in which they just shit on women, and they don't actually talk about things like things that like lead to them feeling the way they're feeling, things like the patriarchy and toxic masculinity. I can't tell you how many times incels have come up to me or have contacted me and said that toxic masculinity doesn't exist, and that's just something that is portrayed by women and femoids and what's the word, soy boys and soy jacks and shit like that. That toxic masculinity actually isn't a thing, and that it's only a thing that is believed by weak people who are not as masculine as they are.
a pretty healthy thing to do.
You wanna see pain?
No, it's not. It is not healthy to sit in a cesspit of your own shit and to sit in a place where nobody's actually offering anything constructive or any way in which you can actually change what is going on in your life, and instead is just doubling down on the feelings and the feelings that you're having.
Swing by First Methodist Tuesday nights. See the guys with testicular cancer. That's pain.
But don't take my word for it. Let's take a tour.
What was that flash of a naked person right there for?
Okay, first post I see under hot posts. IT user, and IT is incel tears, and that's a subreddit devoted to mocking incels. IT user scrolls through multiple pages of my post history to find a post I made on our suicide watch when my mom died and I almost roped, then messages me to mock her death. And let's see what the message said. Your mom would be disappointed in having a loser incel for a son. But
Nah, don't blur out the name. If they saying dumb shit like this, show the name full blast. Show the name full blast. I hate it when people do this. Like, don't send this person any hate. Nah, show their fucking internet name. If they have the balls to say this shit on the internet, why you blurring them out? They got the balls to say this shit. They deserve whatever the fuck is coming to them at that point. Like, fuck. But also, like, I'm pretty sure this person's also an incel. I'm pretty sure the person who left this comment is also an incel, but doesn't want to admit it.
But at least she received the mercy of death, so she didn't have to be around you anymore. LOL. And the first comment from this person's incel brethren is, "This is what a true subhuman looks like, not us. Don't let them bother you, bro." Let's check out another post. Okay, the Our Lady Boner starter pack. Strong-jawed, short facial hair. Hooded, deep-set eyes, low brow, short...
But I'm pretty sure even these people who make memes like this, and people who, in a way, mock incels like this, are, in many cases themselves, incels. Like, maybe this video just wasn't for me. Maybe it wasn't for me. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it wasn't for me. Like, I mock incels casually, like, haha, look at this guy that's, like, making fun of me for having emotions. He's most likely an incel or whatever. Like, ha ha ha. But, like, I don't go out of my way to do shit like this.
More on top haircut. White, or white, and a picture of Hitler, guys Hitler would describe as Aryan. And again, hitting home the idea that the pictures that women like to look at on Our Lady Boners are a reminder to them that they are genetically inferior, the way that Hitler believed that Jews and others were genetically inferior to
Is anybody else confused?
the superior Aryan race. The Aryan look is the most desired by foids. Foids is short for femoids, a kind of dehumanizing robot alien name to describe women naturally.
Even the Nazis who made that post, which was probably made as a joke, but if it also probably wasn't. I would consider those people to be incels as well. Yeah, those are incels too.
Hitler Youth haircuts also get more popular. And then the response to that is, just be a Nazi, bro. And I want to say, I'm not avoiding particularly hateful posts. I literally just went on and chose hot posts. That's what NoFap does to your brain. Day 62. I appreciate women. So NoFap is the anti-masturbation movement. Well, I did hard exercises and went to bed.
First time viewer, hello. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for coming to see the stream.
Then I was going to fantasize about my teacher. But then I got disgusted at my actions, and I thought that this woman has a husband whom she loves. So I stopped and imagined myself giving her a flower of respect and appreciation, because this woman is a human, just like my mom and sister, a human that has family, respect for women. Day 10,000.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with fantasizing about people. The problem is when you make posts like that, where you make it public that you fantasized about your teacher. That's weird. Like, people have fantasies about people that they've met in real life all the freaking time. I wouldn't be surprised if there are people that have fantasies about me or my fiance or any of y'all in chat. Like, it's a good chance it's probably happened. Like, that's a natural thing when people are attracted to somebody. It's not a bad thing.
227 of respect.
It's bad when you vocalize your fantasies or the fantasies that you've had about people. That's weird. Nobody needs to know that. Keep that to yourself, please. Just keep that shit. We don't need to be plastering our shit all over the fucking internet. Just keep that shit to yourself.
Woman. No sex as of yet, but will happen any day now. So this is some of your standard incel complaints and responses to them. You may be blessed with a wonderful dating life where you don't have to complain about shit like this, but I suspect that most people can identify with the things being expressed here, even if you don't believe them and think they're a little bit hateful or demeaning. Sure. Now, if you want to see the hateful shit that gets said about these people, you can go on Incel Tears and have a look for yourself. But the gist of it is that incels shouldn't hate women because they won't have sex with them.
Also, we're only talking about incels from, like, Reddit. Incels are everywhere. Reddit, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere.
Feel entitled to sex and fantasize about rape. Well, I feel fucking entitled to sex. Women owe me sex. The
I didn't need to see that.
fucking world owes me sex. Sex is like food or water.
No. Women don't, in fact, owe you sex. They don't owe you their body. That's the biggest problem with incels like this. And with videos like this where they make where the content is just apologia for problematic people and problematic behaviors. You could not convince me, okay, that Mr. Girl wouldn't also turn around and make a video where he apologizes, where he makes, like, Nazi apologia, basically. I could totally see that shit happening. First. Second, again, nobody, you are not entitled to a woman's body, and a woman is not entitled to your body. Nobody's entitled to anybody's body, okay? You're not entitled to that stuff. The only thing you're entitled to is your own body and jerking off. Like, just go do that. You are not entitled to another person's body. Nobody has to drop their pants to make you feel happy. No one has to. Even if they're freaking married to you. They don't have to do any of that shit for you.
Or air.
You gotta have some kind of reason for dressing with an outfit like this.
I said no, Eddie.
Because, like, this is the same kind of shit that makes... Like, is this a satire video? This is the same kind of shit that, like... I'm going to just keep going.
And yes, it complicates things that it has to involve another willing participant, but you don't need someone's permission to fucking fantasize about them. You don't need your teacher's permission. You can fantasize about raping her or killing her or whatever the fuck you want. That's what fantasies are for. It's also what anonymous internet forums are for. It's for talking about shit that's weird and fuck.
I disagree. I mean, okay, anonymous, but you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, it
Never
might
mind.
sound messed up, but the idea that I have one life to live and I'm not gonna get my fucking rocks off because I'm supposed to be understanding that nobody wants to fuck me? I mean, is that really your answer? Oh, I know you want my body, but what about my mind? What about my nightmares? Are you strong enough to love me? Look, if you really think it.
Okay.
It's a problem that incels feel such strong negative feelings about women, and you have the time to mock them in your YouTube video or your tweet or whatever. Why don't you try to help? Go talk to them or lob.
But the thing is, oftentimes, these people don't want to be talked to. And when you do try... Has this guy never talked to an incel? Or is he an incel himself? I don't know. Like, the thing is, like, incels in many cases don't want to be talked to. They don't listen to you. I could get on TikTok Live right now, and I could almost guarantee you I could find an incel that would appear in... If I just started talking about women's rights, I could almost guarantee you somebody would pop up in chat and would start saying some shit about like how women's rights is bullshit, about how, you know, just insert all of this. You guys know. Those of you who are frequent viewers of mine, you know. If you're fantasizing about killing people, you should go to therapy, not posting about it. Yeah, literally, like I'm glad somebody else agrees with me here. I'm not just in here by myself. Yeah, you should, even if it's in an anonymous messaging board. That's not therapy. You need to find and go to therapy. Like, you need to do that. Also, pause. Something I've noticed about incels is that incels are also the same kind of people. I remember why I brought up Jordan Peterson earlier. Incels are the kinds of people that will watch Jordan Peterson, like what he says about like systemic racism and stuff, like, oh, you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, bucko. Capitalism is great. Clean your room. Take personal responsibility. But then all of that goes out the window when it comes down to finding a partner to have sex with. All of a sudden, you know, the bootstrap shit goes out the fucking window. But a black person complaining about the fact that they really can't get ahead in life because of, or it's very hard for them to get ahead in life because of societal barriers due to systemic racism, the white incel will sit here and tell you, you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Again, some of the most entitled motherfuckers on the planet are fucking incels, okay? Just the name alone is a name of entitlement. These people are incredibly fucking entitled. Just believe me.
Be for legalizing prostitution so these motherfuckers can get laid. Or just listen to them. Maybe our society does have unrealistic expectations of how attractive our sex partners should be, leaving all heterosexuals.
Well, yeah, for both men and women, though. It exists on both sides. Women in some cases have unrealistic expectations and attractions for men, and men in many cases have unrealistic expectations for women. I would say though that women oftentimes, I feel like, get over that a lot easier than men do. Men will expect women to look like fucking Ariana Grande. They will expect all women to look like fucking Ariana Grande or Selena Gomez, and then complain when they don't, or complain when the only way for them to get there is to wear makeup, complain when a woman doesn't wear enough makeup. Like, literally, all men do about women and the way they look is complain. And then when a woman just takes a deep breath and says, men get pissed, and then the men's rights activist movement is formed. Like, god damn.
Unhappy. Shit, maybe it happens to everyone. Maybe it's a problem with our repressive culture. I don't know. Even if you think incels are radicalized to become school shooters in these forums, you want to make fun of them?
And your plan?
Why? Are you fucking stupid?
Yes, because again, it's the entitlement that they have. The entitlement of victimization that they have. And also, oftentimes, incels don't, oftentimes what will happen is, like, people that are bullied are not always incels. I was bullied heavily, and I did not turn out to be an incel. Oftentimes, the people who end up doing the school shootings and what have you do school shootings not just because they're incels. They do school shootings because they're introduced to far-right propaganda within their incel echo chambers and their incel circles. That is often why these people commit school shootings. we find out, like, with the most recent shooting, like, we found out that the person was, like, a white supremacist and shit, and, like, was a bully himself and shit. And he didn't like how people weren't taking his shit, so he came and shot up the school, because, again, fucking entitlement. The problem is these people are, the incels are some of, if not, the most entitled motherfuckers on the goddamn planet.
Is this what we learned from Columbine? Taunt crazy people.
When the month was over, she, you know.
Again, wasn't Columbine, refresh me if I'm wrong, chat, but again, wasn't Columbine done by white supremacists? Like, that said they were bullied, but in fact were white supremacists. Like,
Kind of, she'd say hi to me sometimes in the hallway when I'd see her. She didn't have to do that. That's cool of her.
Making fun of sad people to make yourself look and feel better, it's sad. That makes you the sad.
Again, oftentimes we're not making fun of these people because we internally are sad. We're making fun of these people. We're making fun of these people in many cases because they're fucking stupid. That's why. They're stupid, they're hyper entitled for no fucking reason, and they believe bigoted shit in many cases. Yes, it was on Hitler's birthday because they were white supremacists. Exactly. So, like, miss me with that shit, okay?
Person. Oh God.
It's all gonna be okay.
And then you have people who, I don't know if it was it Joe Rogan who said that they need to just find the weird kid and give that kid some ass and stop bullying him, and maybe school shootings wouldn't happen. Like, you know, oh ladies, if you just gave it up, and if you were, I don't know if it was Joe Rogan. It might have been Joe Rogan. Who said that? I know some famous figure said some shit like that, and people started memeing about it, about how, like, you know, and I used to believe this. I used to believe that, like, the people who are who get bullied are not white supremacists. The people who do school shootings are like people who are bullied. But then it's like, well, and I know this is kind of anecdotal, but like, I was bullied. I didn't do a school shooting. I've never wanted to do a school shooting. Never thought about doing a school shooting. Closest thing I ever got to violence was wanting to punch my bullies, and I did that a couple times. Like, it's insane. This is the shit's insane. You wanna know why we have a problem with Nazis? Videos like this are the reason why we have a problem with fucking Nazis. Because America already coddles Nazis, and then people like this get on YouTube or Twitch or whatever and make videos where we should take pity on these people. I'm not taking pity on someone who thinks that I should die simply because of the fact that I am a different skin color from them. I don't give a fuck. No, I'm not taking pity on that person. They get zero fucking pity from me. It literally costs nothing to not be a fucking dick to somebody, okay? Like, well, over here, my high school had a former U.S. Marine as the principal, and any small issue, he took care of it. Yeah, like, literally, that's nothing. Parents and, like, teachers is taking care of shit like this. Like,
am I now the asshole for making fun of you to make myself feel better?
It's these weird, cynical, pseudo-intellectual videos that really piss me off. I mean, if Mr. Girl wanted to piss somebody off, congratulations, MG. You pissed me off. Like, actually, I'm not even really all that. I don't even think I'm really all that pissed off. I'm just kind of sitting here like, I really hate people like this. I really hate these types of people that, like, sit in the back corner of the room and say that everybody else is stupid or, like, not as smart as them because they don't think like, whatever. Ugh.
Maybe.
Oh my god, I'm sure you're so smart, Mr. Girl. Okay. I think it's a privilege thing. We have a lot of white cishet men who think they should be handed everything, and then when they aren't, they kill. Yeah, literally, it's entitlement. It is an entitlement thing. That's why the majority of people that are mass shooters and the majority of people who are school shooters are white people. They're white boys. Because they feel entitled to shit. They literally feel entitled to shit. And then when they don't get it, they think they can go kill people. It was pointed out to me that if school shooting were from people who were bullied, we would see a lot more school shooters who are women and POC. That is true. We would. Yet most school shooters are cishet white men. Exactly. Fucking exactly. You know what? Let me see if I can find that shit. Give the weird kid some ass. Let me go to YouTube. Let me go to Google. I don't know what to type in. Give the school shooter some ass, I guess. I think this is what I'm looking for right here. Podcast? Okay. Attention all you horror thoughts and blowjob Barbies. Find the weirdest kid in your class and give them some ass. Use that cooter. Stop a school shooter. No more school shootings in 2018. The response to that. I did it. I finally had sex. The response to that. Oh my god. I'm menacing with sex on iPhone. I'm fucking dead. Yeah, let's add podcasts to that. Because I could have swore I heard something from, like, Joe Rogan or somebody. Okay, let's look up bullying doesn't cause school shootings. Oh, opinion. Stop blaming school shootings on bullying. Bullying causes school shootings. Well, that's from Quora, which is a message board. Oh well, we'll end this segment here. It's already almost 40 minutes long.